And Tropical Storm Elsa also having major impacts on the search following the building collapse.
Last night at about 10:30, under the orders of Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, the rest of the Champlain Tower South building was demolished. Within hours, rescuers returned to the pile of debris looking for people trapped in the rubble. CBS 4's Carly Barnett joins us live in Surfside. Carly, good evening.
Elliot, Lauren, it's pretty jarring to see this image behind me of a completely empty space between these two buildings here. And I just want to point out the smell of the air is still a very strong, smoky smell. And that's even with all of the rain that we've had today. You can see even in the rain, there are some people that are paying their respects over at the memorial wall. And this, as we just learned in the latest briefing, that the death toll is now 28 after recovering another body. 26 of those people have been identified, and 117 are unaccounted for. Now, as you mentioned, that demolition happened just at 10:30 last night, bringing down what was left of the Champlain Tower South building in just a matter of seconds. And this was all done to ensure that the building did not come down as a result of Elsa. And they made sure to preserve the integrity of the rubble to make sure that part was unaffected and they could get back to work, just as you said. And even though the demolition meant having to put those search efforts on pause, teams say this now actually helps them with their search efforts because they are able to access areas that were previously off limits due to concern over the structure. Fire Chief Alan Kaminsky saying they now have access to every grid. They can navigate the entire site and use some more of that heavy machinery. He says
I'm in awe of the men and women of the USAR task force teams who've been continuing to brave dangerous and changing conditions for 12 days, fire, smoke, and now wind and torrential rain. They are continuing the mission and the search of the collapse area. They've worked under this great difficulty, and they have pulled shifts to rotate because that's how much they want to be out there searching. The first responders are the most frustrated by any delays we have experienced. Truly, they live to save lives.
Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava speaking, and as she touched on, there are all 5 federal task force teams working right now, and they have at least 80 search and rescue teams working in 12-hour shifts, and they are going to be manning the site for 24 hours.
Carly, have officials said how the weather is impacting the search?
Elliot, of course, Elsa, a big concern when it comes to the search efforts. They did have to briefly pause when they had some squalls that came through a little bit earlier. So certainly that is going to be a consideration. Thankfully, it does appear that it won't have the damaging effects that they thought it would before. But of course, it is going to bring some heavy rain, which means they have to deal with flooding. But really, the main concern is the lightning. That is what is going to mean that they would have to stop their work. But they say so long as the weather allows, and should things continue like this, then they will continue working on this site, as I said, for 24 hours. They say they want to bring every person out.
Carly, thank you. So frustrating for everybody involved.